Hello everyone, my name is Nick Infernus and welcome back to another comic book review. We're finally back after so long and I would like to first apologize for this next batch of reviews taking this long. College has been kicking my ass, you guys, but I will put these out when I can. I can't make promises of a schedule or anything, but just know I will do my best to record these things and upload them when I have the time, which is usually at night during the weekends, but you know how it is. Anyways, so, yes, review number 13. Let's finish off the Defender saga, even though I technically did two of them during the big 36 spot ranking, but whatever. Let's finish this off with Jessica Jones. And in general, one thing that. Actually, no, I'll save this for the end. But season one. This was a great season. This was actually the one that made me sure that I was going to enjoy the Defender saga because, yeah, season one of Daredevil, fantastic. But you never know how the other seasons are going to turn out. Of course, the first season could be fantastic and the rest of them can suck. Well, I can say that only one of them really sucks, and the other one that I rated a one is not really good. Anyways, but this one is great. This, well, the first thing that I'll say about the season is actually a character who dies in the season, but we still get little glimpses of here and there in the other seasons. Excuse me. And that is the villain of the season, Kilgrave. I forget his real name, but Kilgrave is the name he has from the comics. It's one of the coolest villain names ever. And just allow me to gush about him real quick because he is easily my favorite villain in this entire series of shows. First of all, David Tennant is the actor. Hell yes. Anytime you got a Scottish actor playing a villain, I'm intrigued. And a good chunk of what makes Kilgrave such an enjoyable villain is the performance by David Tennant. How you listen to him, like he can sound very demanding, but also very laid back at the same time, very intimidating, very casual, especially very casual because he has the ability to take away people's volition. Basically, he tells them to do something and they'll do it with no questions, unless you're Jessica, who is somehow immune, which I don't remember if they explained that or not, but whatever. But it's just the amount of different emotions that he can convey while playing this really despicable villain who is also kind of likable with the performance. But another thing I love about the character is that despite all the nice things that are said about him, he is a horrible person. Sorry, during the first season, he made some people do some really awful things to themselves. A lot of it delving into self-harm, which I'm not going to go into detail with because of that, but very sick stuff that should make him hateable, but again, it's the performance by David Tennant that sells the character for me. And that's generally how it is with a lot of the characters in this first season. A lot of them are supreme assholes. But since you're getting to know them, it actually helps a little bit with making them a little bit more likable in a sense, which the second season really needed. I'll just say that for the time being. Another nice thing here is that Luke Cage, yeah, he didn't make his first debut in his own show. He debuts here, and he's a really nice inclusion. Inclusion? What is that? Inclusion. Sorry, that's what I tried to say. The nice thing is that, yeah, he has ties to Jessica Jones that we don't initially know about that are really tragic. And by the end of the season, he is eventually used by Kilgrave as essentially his bodyguard. So yeah, nice little introduction to Luke Cage before his own show. The one thing I will say is that even though I don't mind the characters being assholes here, it actually kind of adds to their character building in a sense. There is one character that I really don't like, and her name is Robin. She's someone who lives in the floor above Jessica, who we don't see in the other two seasons. Thank God. Yeah, she's really annoying. I wouldn't normally bring up something like that, except they focus on her a little bit more towards the end of the season. So that brought the season down a little bit. with her taken out, and this probably could have been one of the best seasons of the saga. Actually, no, this probably would be one of the best seasons of the saga. I'm just saying it could have been fantastic instead of just great. Season 2, on the other hand, is a major step back. This isn't awful like Iron Fist Season 1, but this still isn't good. For one thing, there's no villain. There's no real villain. No, Alyssa Jones does not count because she doesn't do enough to justify herself being a villain. It's not like Kilgrave, who can take away other people's volition, or Salinger, who we'll get to later. No, all she does is practically, honestly, I'm willing to consider a lot of her outbursts either just self-defense or distractions. Nothing she does is in any way villainous. And along with that, the characters here, yeah, they're not likable still, but we know them now, so it doesn't really help that they're not likable. There's not really anything else I could say about that aspect. It's just, I guess something I could say is that even some of our good guys do things that aren't very good. Like at one point, Jessica holds someone's son hostage because he has information or something, and that really rubbed me the wrong way, if I'm being honest. And like at the same time, it shows like Jessica still trying to get over Kilgrave and how he still has a mental hold on her. Okay, that one. Okay, I'll admit that I actually don't mind, but it would have been nice if they had helped her move forward just a little bit sooner. Now, this season isn't devoid of any real negatives. Well, it isn't devoid of positives, is what I meant to say. Because like, there's a character named Oscar. He has some hostility towards Jessica at first, but he saves his son. He forgives her and all that. And Malcolm from the first season does have some badass moments, but between those badass moments and the nice dynamic that Jessica and Oscar have, that's kind of it. And even with Malcolm, he essentially turns on Jessica near the end and ends up working for Hogarth. And trust me, we will get to Hogarth in season 3, believe me. But speaking of season 3, yeah, this is way better already. This isn't fully great, but I will gladly rewatch any episode from this season than rewatch any episode from the second season. For one, we're back to having a despicable villain in Gregory Salinger, a serial killer who tortures his victims before he kills them. Yeah, screw that guy. and yes, I know I said screw and not the word I would normally say. I'm trying to dial back the use of the F word unless we're talking about Dreykov, because fuck him. See, like that. But like Salinger as a character, he's a great villain, but he's an awful person because he's a serial killer who blends in perfectly with society. He has almost no criminal record until Jessica comes along and proves that he's guilty. And I like the little ideology he has that people with powers are cheaters to him. So he tries to do things that would make them seem small, if I remember correctly. But it's an idea that I don't think it's explored that often. How yeah, people with powers are technically cheaters. I do also like, speaking of people with powers, I do like Eric as a nice little inclusion. He has a very interesting power where he can actually sense the evil in people. And if he gets too close to a person who has evil within them, he bleeds from his eyeballs. I wish I was kidding. And I also do like the character arc that they give to Trish after wanting powers in the second season. She gets powers where she's agile, she lands on her feet, she can see in the dark. Apparently in the comics, she's called Hellcat. There's even an episode in this season titled Hellcat. And initially, she puts her powers to use by doing the right thing, by helping Jessica take on Salinger. But then Salinger kills her mother, Dorothy, and she basically snaps. She cares less about the people she kills, and to the point where even Eric starts to sense darkness within her. And it gets to the point where Jessica has to take her down. And it's unfortunate because you could really tell that they were forming a genuine bond in this season. But unfortunately, Trish got carried away, so she had to be taken down. This is another season that could have been one of the best in the saga, but what drags it down is the side plot with Hogarth. Ooh, there's a lot to unpack with this woman in this season. She was already not the most likable character in the other seasons, but here, ooh, she does some awful things. For one, her ex from forever ago shows up in her life again. It's nice the two of them talk a little bit, but it gets to the point where there's a lot of almost cheating going on between the two of them, and it also gets to the point where Hogarth inadvertently drives her ex's husband to commit suicide, which all of that is, and then she's barely remorseful for it. She gets better near the end, but at that point, I couldn't care less about her. And thankfully, and frankly, I'm actually kind of glad that the ex's name is Kith, by the way. I should probably mention that. I'm actually kind of glad that her and Kith don't end up together because, yeah, you don't deserve that after everything you've done. Like, I normally don't say that about people, but considering everything she did in this season, I am 100% willing to say that. This is still a really good season, way better than whatever season 2 was. I just wish that maybe either they tone down that side plot or just cut it out completely. Maybe make this like another 10 episode season like season 2 of Iron Fist. But I'm still really happy with how this turned out. So, what are my final ratings? Well, season 1's getting a 4. Just great villain, great characters, even if they're assholes at first. Just wish they didn't focus on that one annoying character near the end. Season 2 is getting a 1. I know I didn't criticize it that much, but this is the kind of season where you really would have to watch it to get why I'm saying. Because there's no villain, it's a lot less engaging because there's no tension. There's no big threat that needs to be stopped. That Jessica needs to stop. And because of that, it ends up being less engaging. And unlike the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which actually does some stuff to make it enjoyable, this doesn't really do anything major. And then season 3 is getting a 3.5. Yeah, I did a half rating because I wanted to rate it higher, but that side plot with Hogarth, that's in every single episode, might I add, it holds it back. So final rating's kind of weird because it's a 2.8 out of 5. This could have been in the same tier. This could have been the very enjoyable tier, but it just falls short. And I blame a lot of that on season 1 just not being good in general. And I will also say, season 1 was honestly just so much of a drag that it actually kind of made me dread watching season 3 because this is the one show in the saga where I think about watching it, making some progress, and my mind just tells me, nah, not today. We can skip. So in general, this could have been a really good show. It's a good show. It's fine as it is. It just had the potential to be better. And that's the most unfortunate part. So anyways, guys, I hope that was worth the wait. A longer review for you guys. If you enjoyed, you know what to do. I'm not going to bore you with all that generic crap. Thank you guys for watching. See you in the next review. Take care and Godspeed.